We found out about 8 weeks pregnant that we were having 2 sets of identical twins, so quadruplets. And so then they were born very early. They were born at 26 weeks, so 14 weeks early. They were very small. They were referred to as micro preemies. They were all below 2 pounds. So Liam was our biggest at £1.10, Reese £1.8, followed by Daniel at £1.4, and Cullen at £1.3. And sadly, we lost Cullen, Reese's identical twin, on January the 16th, 2007, and Daniel on January 18th, 2007. Preemies that small could be born, they could be blind, they could be deaf. They had both had surgery on their heart valve, which is called PDA. They both had what was called retinopathy of prematurity. So their eyes didn't develop quite properly in utero. They had to have laser eye surgery in order to fix that problem. So they both see perfectly fine today. But retinopathy of prematurity is what Stevie Wonder is actually blind from. But they were just so fragile. They were just so small. Reese's eyes were fused for the first week and a half. He couldn't even open his eyes because they weren't developed enough for them to be open. I remember the first time I came home from the hospital, it was 5 days. They allowed me to stay in the hospital for 5 days just to be close to the boys. I had a C-section as well, so I was able to stay in a little bit longer, and they didn't pressure me to leave. And when I went home, I would not sleep. I did not sleep all night long because I was afraid if I fell asleep that the phone would ring and we'd get bad news every day, because we would just be by their side. Of course, I was pumping 8 times a day for milk, so to feed them. And then I'd come home, we would be exhausted, but for the grace of our friends and our family, we wouldn't have eaten. They made food for us in our freezer, but we were often just too exhausted to do much of anything except just get up and do it all over again. You just get through your days.
You have such an extraordinary experience as a parent, because you have this joy of these children, and then also the grief of losing too. I don't think it's particularly getting easier. I think you just learn to live with it and manage it and continue on with it. Somebody described it one time as it's like losing a limb. You miss it, but you have to learn to live without it. So, and you just move on. Yeah, that's Daddy's thumb. Daddy was holding Cullen that day. We've always talked about them. We've always been very open about them. Reese and Liam are here enjoying life every single day. We get to enjoy every minute with them. Mostly always joy. They are 12-year-old boys. Mostly always joy. You are 12-year-old boys.
Sometimes not with him.
But with Cullen and Daniel, it's so important to me. I think that this race weekend means a lot to us in their name. This endowment fund means a lot in their name. It's the one thing that we can do for Cullen and Daniel that we can't, because we can't do anything else for them. So this is the one thing that we can really do, and this is their moment to shine. And so we try to raise money in their name and help other people in their name.